For many new bands, Wardour Street here in London Soho has meant the road to fame and fortune, all because of this place, the Marquee Club. The Who, the Rolling Stones, Terence Trent D'Arby all played their first major London gigs here, which is where we recorded our next band. They're no man's land, they're from Doncaster, they've got a whole album of material recorded already in just under a year, and their first single's out in mid-September. We think they're going to be huge, and this is This Country.
We were so close to something, you know, quite substantial in terms of genuine success, you know, which is so difficult to achieve. When I sort of think back to myself at that time, it's like thinking of another person, really. It's very odd. You know, doing all the rock star stuff, you know, it seems a world away from what my life is like now, you know. I had no idea that I could sing or that it sounded pleasant, you know. I never really wanted to be in a band. I never had no burning ambition to do it. I just sort of fell into it, really. Well, you had two brothers, real brothers, Keith and Dave Angel. Dave played the guitar, Keith played drums. And then there's Adrian Evans, who was the main songwriter, who played bass. Keith invited me around. He was very charming, yeah, and asked me if I wanted to join him. They seemed to be happy with what I was doing. I sang, and I think I used to play the bongos now and again. And then it just sort of built from there. And I suppose the only band I can sort of equate with is U2 or something like that. And I think we were just like Donny's answer to U2, basically.
Second-hand clothes, I'm walking around in.
I had really long hair and I looked very feminine, but I started buying a lot of second-hand clothes, so I suppose somehow I sort of seemed to develop my own thing, you know. I mean, and very early on, I was walking around in women's coats and things, you know. I remember seeing myself in a shop window once and I just thought I looked absolutely ridiculous. I remember putting this coat in the bin there and then. Thinking that, you know, I'm not doing that again, I'm not wearing that again. But within 6 months from, instead of getting rejection letters, we got offered 4 recording contracts. We got offered a deal from Chrysalis, Iron Records and Go Discs, and we went with Go Discs because they seemed to be, I don't know, a little bit more down to earth. And when they came up to Doncaster to actually, you know, to sign it and everything with us in a local pub. But I mean, and it was a significant record deal. I think it was something like £100,000 over like 4 or 5 album deals. I mean, who knows what that figure would be now. We were going to put the album out. We were going to make sure it wasn't too expensive, and we were going to, you know, sort of thinking about the fans type of thing. But then you sort of sat round the pool, you know, drinking cocktails, discussing what your first single's going to be. I just thought maybe it was a bit fake, not in keeping with what we were saying. Performing gigs could obviously be very nerve-wracking. I started to develop a lot of anxiety towards doing gigs and stuff like that, and probably coping with it by drinking more to feel in the mood, to feel like I could do it and stuff like that. So I was probably going downhill a bit. I think I used to even be sick and stuff like that. I was just so nervous. You can come across quite confident, but you don't necessarily feel that, do you? You know, I suppose it's an illusion. That's what it's like acting or anything to do with bands. It's a performance, isn't it? It's not real, basically. And I think we'd meant to start this tour, and I think I took off with one of my mates. I think we drove down to Scarborough, and I wasn't in, basically, when they come to call for me. I was in Scarborough with my mate. So, and I more like basically just ran away from it. You know, it was too much, and I just couldn't handle it. Became from somebody who was reasonably confident to somebody who was just terrified of going out and going outside. I don't think people talked about mental health. I don't think it was a thing. It was just basically shut up, man up, get on with it. I affected 3 other individuals' lives. It was a massive, sort of weight on my shoulders. Really, I was aware that I stopped them pursuing their dream.
I'm safe in your arms again.
Should be good fun. And then I got a job working in, it was in a learning disabilities place, and it was, it was quite a shock to the system. Suddenly I'm feeding people, I'm helping to dress them and all this kind of stuff. It was a massive shock, and I did that for 6 years, and then I sort of moved into sort of mental health basically, and I've sort of done that ever since. So it's interesting from that experience I had when I was young. And obviously, since then, I've worked with all sorts of people who've experienced anxiety and them kind of problems. And it's I guess it helps when you've been through something yourself when you're young. I work in the community now, driving around seeing people and stuff like that. And it's, it's good. I enjoy it.
We'd cast aside this fight for wealth and the resources of this world could be used for brotherhood.
I sometimes think, I wonder if I'd have a nice little place in California, a little condo in overlooking the mountains. But in terms of what I've done with my life, I haven't got any regrets about that, because I think, like I say, you learn everything that happens, no matter how bad it is or good it is, you learn from it, and I think I think it can make you a better person.
For us to climb.